asked people what their opinions of Yik Yak are and how they think it affects college campuses, and this is what they said.
Do you know what Yik Yak is?
Yeah, Yik Yak is just a social media app that most colleges have, and you get to post things without, like, anonymous. You get to post things and they're anonymous, and you basically could say whatever you want to, and that's basically Yik Yak for you.
Do you like Yik Yak?
I like Yik Yak. It humors me sometimes. Sometimes I get mad because people like repeat stuff and say stuff over again, but most of the time it's for humor when I look at it.
Do you think it should be illegal or not?
I don't think Yik Yak should be illegal. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Other than people just posting like people's names on there. That's not right, but other than that...
Teen suicide is the second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 24. Suicide is the third leading cause of death for college and youth ages 12 to 18. And bullying is the number one cause of suicide, and is becoming such an epidemic on social media it now has its own word: cyberbullying. Bullies have found social media as an easy and safe way to humiliate their victims. A new smartphone app known as Yik Yak has become home to cyberbullies due to its complete anonymity. The anonymity of the app makes bullying others easier because now the bullies do not have to personally face consequences or judgment. This app is only months old but has already spread from college campuses coast to coast. Along with its rapid growth, concerning questions surrounding the app have reached headlines. Is Yik Yak damaging to colleges? Does Yik Yak enable bullying? And should the app continue to call college campuses home? So far, this app has sported bomb and school shooting threats, as well as millions of vulgar and insulting yaks. The negative effects of this app has had on communities is outstanding, and for that, it needs to be either terminated or undergo some serious change before its use continues. While this negative opinion of Yik Yak is not shared by all, the pro-Yik Yak community makes arguments stating that cyberbullying is nothing new, and simply getting rid of Yik Yak will not help for many reasons. One reason being that the effects of exterminating the specific app will be so small that bullies and victims will not even feel it, because there are so many other social media sites that harbor cyberbullying. While the founders of Yik Yak, Tyler Droll and Brooks Buffington, admitted to being naive when creating the app, they still believe that the yak is and should stay home on college campuses because so many college students, including themselves, enjoy using it. When the first real problems began to surface with this app, Droll and Buffington stated, "We were naive. We designed the app primarily for college students. Using the app the way we intended it to be used requires a certain amount of maturity and responsibility. We were unrealistic about who possessed that." Unrealistic is right. The first majority of people to download the app were high school kids who posted about bombing and shooting their schools so that they could get them shut down for periods at a time. The people against Yik Yak are mainly law enforcement groups. The main reason law enforcement are against Yik Yak is because there are a lot of people that use this app to try to sell drugs, find people to do drugs with, or even just try to share information about underage parties. With this app being so anonymous, it is hard to find out who is selling or doing drugs. And while Yik Yak cannot provide your phone number to law enforcement or authorities, what they can provide is the location in which the yaks were posted. By tracking the location of where specific users post things, they can usually find an address or specific area to which they understand why law enforcement is having problems with Yik Yak. We interviewed Mr. Renzelman, who works for the Asotin Police Department and has been in law enforcement for 25 years.
And in your opinion, do you think it should be made illegal, or do you think it would just be pointless and should not even try to fight it?
I think that we should try and make it illegal at first. Try and do what we can. The problem with that is that we as a society are getting to the point where we're over-legislated so that there's laws on everything. So I think it would be tough. But I think that something needs to come up to try and limit this type of stuff because it's so easy for criminals and that type of people to be able to use it, that it's needs to have something done. I think that education is a big part that would need to come out, no matter what, illegal or not. We need to be sure to educate people on the use and why you maybe not want to use it. Maybe if we can educate people to not even download it, that would send a pretty clear message as well.
Law enforcement are not the only groups against this app. A Vermont college president has blocked access to Yik Yak because he says it was being used for cyber attacks against students. Schools in Delaware and New Mexico, as well as colleges in these same states, have shared this problem and blocked its use from their Wi-Fi systems as well. Everyone will have their own opinion about Yik Yak for their own reasons, if they believe it is a good or bad thing. However, it cannot be denied that this app has caused damage to universities all across the nation. Many of Yik Yak's users would agree that suicide has become more prominent in the past century. So, if we are all against cyberbullying, why must we continue to harm others anonymously? If the misuse of Yik Yak does not come to an end, the app should. Statistics don't lie, so why should we keep a negative influence that only makes it worse? Ending the misuse or banning Yik Yak will not end bullying, drug use, threats, or any of the problems that have been discussed about this app, but it is a good start. And just because cyberbullying will still be present on other social media sites is not a justification. Shouldn't we be doing everything in our power to end the madness?